Welcome back. So from this lecture, let's try to understand what are fixtures in PyTest and their importance. Okay, so there are different concepts which we need to learn as part of this fixtures topic. Right. So first, what are fixtures? So in general, if you want to have any setup and tear down methods, okay, so in general, if you are working with JUnit or TestNG, you have some setup method which you have to run before you execute any test, right? It's like before test annotation in TestNG. If you are aware of Java testing frameworks, there is an annotation called before test which executes as a prerequisite before the test, and there is another annotation called after test which will run after your test execution is completed. It's like setup and tear down methods. So that concept in Python we call it as a fixtures, but you can do a lot with these fixtures. Not only that, but that's the base concept. Okay, so let me go through that. Firstly, I'll create one fixture in this class. You can declare that fixture anywhere in the beginning or at the end, it doesn't matter. Right. So for defining fixture, you have to give annotation like this: pytest dot fixture. You see that? This is the one. You have to declare like this so that it will treat whatever you method you write here will be treated as a fixture. Okay. So def we can say as setup. You can give any method name, it's up to you. So here you can say I will be executed first. So just to show you that this will be ran first before you ran another test which is attached to this. Now let's say I want to create one more new test. Def test fixture demo. Okay. I will execute steps in fixture demo method. Right. So it gives some warning as it is expecting 2 spaces, I think, and then warning will go. Now what happened? So now when you run this test, right now this test do not have idea about this, right? Because how will this test know that it has to depend upon this fixture? So you can give connection of the fixture to this method by simply passing that method name as an argument into your test. Okay, now when you run this test, when this test is gonna run it, and when it come across this setup, it will check if there is any fixture defined with setup. Yes, it is defined. So it will first execute this complete method before it reaches this test. Okay, so this is like prerequisite. It ran and then it will run this. So in Selenium framework, we use this fixtures for opening up browser or setting up some database instances or creating some configuration properties, environment variables. It's all like prerequisite stuff. Like if you want to run in Chrome browser, you will make sure you have Chrome driver set up and invoke browser in this setup, and then you start actual test cases inside it. Alright, so this is how it run, but these methods which are tests, nothing but tests, do not have impact because we are not passing argument into them. Only when you pass fixture as an argument, then only it will be tied up to the fixture. Okay. So now when I run this single test, this is test demo 2, right? I'm just running this particular test directly from PyCharm test runner. Okay, so it ran. Obviously there is one failure because we are trying to forcibly print message equals to hi. That's fine. and where is your actual test? Right here. You see that in fixture demo, I will be executing first. Fixture got printed, and thereafter I will execute steps in fixture demo method. Okay, so for more clearance, I would do one thing. Let me create one new class for you. Test underscore fixture demo. I'll create one new file so that I will just print only these two here. Perfect. So from test runner, I will ask to run this test, apply, okay, and run. And now we can see, oh, you have to import this pytest, right? Right. When you ran, and now you see in the output, the fixture first executed. I will be executing first and will execute steps in fixture demo. So that's the concept. Now tear down. So if you want to run something after your test case execution is done, like after test annotation, if you are aware of test in G or JUnit. Similarly, you can do that as well, but you need not again create another fixture to write post prerequests, sorry, post execution. You can write that in that setup fixture only. So how you can do that? So in pytest, if you put yield keyword, then it automatically treats that whatever you write after this yield step will be executed after your test execution is completed. Okay. Now if I print, I will be executed last. Right. So now what happens when you run this? So first it will run, I will be executing first, and then when it sees yield, it hold on there, it will come back to your execution and it run this complete test whatever you define here, and thereafter it will go back and execute remaining statements which is present after yield statement. So that means post test execution tear down methods will be run after yield and prerequest setup methods will be run before yield. Automatically Python takes care of it, so that you can wrap all the setup and tear down stuff in one method only by separating with yield statement, and at runtime pytest takes care. So now when you run this test, right, I will be executing first, I will execute steps in fixture demo method, and you see that I will execute last. Right, so this is how you can set up fixtures. As I said, in real time you will use this particular block to invoke browser or to invoke some configuration properties, and you will use this to close the browser and to delete the cookies at the end after your test case execution is done. Don't worry, we will actually do the real-time exercise of all these by injecting Selenium code in our upcoming lectures. Alright, so let's continue our discussion in the next lecture. Thank you.